actually, I had epilepsy as a teenager, and right before kind of coming back to grad school, I had what looked like it was going to be like, it looked like it was coming back, you know? And so I wanted to make a movie kind of about the experience of having epilepsy. And then the more I read about, you know, movies with epilepsy, I didn't see that many characters like, there are not that many movies, you know? There are a handful of movies, but usually when they're made, they're like from the perspective of someone like watching the seizure, not someone having a seizure, you know? So I wanted to like make a film where you like, you know, you see someone like struggling with not wanting to take their medicine and not wanting to, you know, go to treatment or whatever.
I think you did that beautifully, and it was also really interesting to some of the messages that just come out in our community of not wanting to take your medicine. You know, we know this one, and you know, certain others, which I'm sure we'll dive into. And Dr. Hack, in the film, the artist tries to hide his epilepsy. Historically, what stigmas have been associated with epilepsy that would make a person so adamantly try to hide it?
Well, you can imagine that most people with epilepsy walk around looking completely normal, right, all day long, and then suddenly this event strikes them down. And so they tend to live in fear day in and day out of something happening when they're out in public. And, you know, as was depicted in the film, you get scooped up, you end up in the emergency room, and pills are thrown at you, and there are not a lot of answers in most cases. And so people become very guarded, very concerned about their own ability to get out in public and live their lives. And so there's a great amount of stigma about in the public because people don't understand epilepsy. So the more word we get out, the more we talk about this disorder, the better for people who live with the disorder, and the better for the people who love them.
Absolutely. I think one of the interesting things too in the film, the girlfriend or the partner or the band partner, you know, just had this reaction, this very accepting reaction of, you know, the situation, which I thought was another important message. Neil, there's a question here about, because you just alluded to some of the preparation that you did in your background to make this film, but what other research did you really do for the film?
Well, the big thing, actually, the Epilepsy Foundation of LA was a big part of that. I met an individual there named Nathan Jones, who's really involved with kind of like the adult networking and stuff. And so I went to actually a group where we had dinner and we all kind of talked about our experiences with the disorder. It was interesting because you see so many like different ways people deal with the disorder, and I was like, wow, like, you know, this is, because you know, you're used to the way you deal with it, or maybe someone else, you know, deals with it. But like, you know, people are living their lives and dealing with this disorder, and I was like, wow, it's kind of liberating, but it was also interesting, and I kind of was like, I can take my emotional experience with it, but now I know, you know, there's diversity within this illness, I guess. I don't know. That was the big thing I did, and then, you know, working with the producers to make it.
Was that affirming for you, or just in preparation for the film?
It was affirming, I think, as an individual, yeah, for sure. I mean, it was cool. It was really cool to be able to see, like, okay, like, you know, because, you know, just not to dwell too much on it, but like, I had my own stigmas about this illness, like, you can't drink alcohol, you can't do this, you can't do that. But to see people who are like, oh, I drink alcohol all the time, and sometimes I'm sleeping. You know, it's like, oh, really? Like, you know, it's not okay to do it. Like, that's not okay, right? But, you know, but they were living kind of okay, you know, they were living that way, and it was like, oh, okay. Like, you don't have to be scared all the time, you know? That was the big thing, you know? You don't have to be scared, and there's a community you can go to. And I was so appreciative of that. So I was like, I wanted to kind of put that in the film, and the struggles. And everybody had that struggle, not wanting to take your medicine, especially when it kind of went away, and they came back, you know?
Well, you never know where you're going to get affirmation, so,
yeah,
you know, alcohol, And a last question for you, Dr. Heck. Is there a certain demographic that suffers from epilepsy more than others? Would it be specified more intensely in terms of race, gender, or age?
Actually, with respect to race or gender, epilepsy hits everybody equally. With respect to age, we have two general peaks in the population these days that tend to present with epilepsy more commonly than the general population, and that is the children and people who are aging. Epilepsy is actually a symptom. Seizures are a symptom of other brain problems, and there are lots of things that can cause seizures. There are brain tumors, of course, that, everybody who has a seizure for the first time thinks they have a brain tumor, right? But there are lots of other things that, old head trauma, complications of your own birth. There are lots of things that can contribute to the brain eventually developing the ability to have a seizure. And so as we age, those things accumulate, and the more hits you have, the more the chance that you would have a seizure. So as the population ages, we are seeing more and more people having epilepsy as well.
So I would like to talk or shift this into the music aspects of the film. So as the composer, the question is, would you please tell us how you conceive the music and how you combine the songs to help the viewer feel more or see more from David's point of view?
Well, for the first time as a composer, typically I'll get the film, they already shot the film, you watch it, and you just have to go with the mood and do all of that. However, Neil and I actually met up with just the script, and he just sat on my couch and I'm at the piano, and he would just describe the mood. So I got to actually compose all of the music before he started shooting, before he actually had the vision for what the club looked like. So after it was the music was created, he actually went back and said, well, maybe we should put it in this kind of club scene, and then he would ask me all these questions. So the music came about by him, portraying the emotion he wanted the viewer to feel. And then I just said, well, what about this? And what about this? And he would go, okay. It was really easy.
Well, Andre did a great job because all that music you hear is like original. They all,
No, that was it. I was just saying thank you for the applause.
Well, so there's a question here kind of tied to that, actually, for you, Neil. In the film, pardon me, David seemed to have visions when he had seizures. Is this common for people living with epilepsy, and where did that idea come from? And then how did you visualize it through the music?
I don't know, actually, this comment, Dr. Heck, I don't know if you I didn't have that experience when I had seizures. Everything just went black. But I thought that, maybe it'd be cool to kind of give you inside his head, like kind of what he's thinking about, kind of, what are his inner thoughts, right? Like in those moments.
It was kind of Bob Fosse-ish, I kind of.
Can I say something about it?
I was just getting ready to.
Yeah, no, because it's interesting. To me, what I was thinking, even in the images, maybe it goes black in real life for Neil, but as the character, that probably visualizes his concerns while he's in the seizure. You know what I mean? Like parts you see a great jazz player, something he wants to be, but yet epileptic, the song is saying you're never gonna make it there. You know what I mean? So as his desires in the midst of his seizure, he knows this thing that he's afraid of that comes up every once in his life. So when it comes up, as soon as something detrimental or terrible comes up in your life, you think about all the things you wanted to achieve. And so this is kind of just a flash of paradoxical, putting them together.
So you captured the character just amazingly. So what kind of research did you do in preparation for this?
I listen to people all the time. I really care about people, So I have friends that have had seizures, and then I did go on YouTube looking at seizures and looking at people go through them. I saw, I guess people knew how they were triggered. Some people knew how they were triggered, so they would sit there and watch and wait and see how it was about to start and then finish. How people come out and get hot sometimes, how they come out and they're uncomfortable and they get out of the place they're in and stuff. And so I was looking at that. And then the part of a person with seizures without going through the seizure moment, if you listen to people, if you know in your own life, if you do internal work on yourself sometimes, you really know that there's something you're afraid of coming out of you, that you have, that there's something that you're afraid of. A lot of us walk around hoping that our anger doesn't come out. You know what I mean? Hoping that something doesn't come out. So this was just actually something I could translate over when I do internal work in my own life. I know there's things I fight with in my own self. So they're amped up by this situation now.
Thank you. You did a wonderful job. And then as producer, producer and actress in this film, what were some of the challenges you faced in making and working on the film?
Oh wow! I went from telling Neil what to do to Neil telling me what to do. All the same thing, most often. But honestly, it was a great privilege to work on this film. When I saw the script, I was just blown away because there was a certain sensitivity and emotion there that I hadn't often seen in student films. And Neil, I said, you know, do you want to work on this together? And he's like, well, I'm not really sure. And I'm like, okay. So I kind of bullied him into letting me work on the film, and then I bullied myself into the part. I'm just kidding. But, you know, this panel has been absolutely amazing. I've learned the things already. And one of the things that you brought up earlier, Dr. Trump, was about the sensitivity of Amber. You know, the way that she dealt with David. And it's something that I hadn't even thought of because I was opposite of that. I didn't know very much about epilepsy. I was affected. I came to the film. I don't think I've ever shared this with Neil, but as a child, you know, a young woman in our community passed away. A young African-American woman passed away of epilepsy. She drowned in the bathtub. She had a seizure and she was pregnant. And so when this script came across, you know, it was just a memory that came back, you know, that's never left, and it was something that I was in fear of. And so actually going through it and having the opportunity to play Amber, who was able to
With Ankh Entertainment, Stones in the color of her blog, Culver City News, and your entertainment personality for 15 minutes of show. And guess where I am? At USC, looking at David's Reverie, which is this hot film. And on my camera is my girl, Tenzie Taylor. I'm adopting her, just so you'll know.
Yes, we're both
hey, Tenzie, we are Southern Bells. Tenzie is our new manager of the Black Alumni Association of USC. How is that for making history? Say hi.
Hi, everybody.
And so what is your job in the manager?
So my job is to make sure that every event, such as tonight, goes smoothly and effortlessly.
Yes. Okay. And then what do you do on a daily basis for USC? Like, how is the position? What do you get to do?
So we have an upcoming event on March 28th. Vanessa L. Williams, Vanessa Bell Calloway, and ROCHON.
Oh my gosh, are doing what?
Dreaming of Harlem under a high southern sky. So I am managing that event March 28th, 4 p.m. Boulevard Auditorium.
Okay, wow. So we're going to talk to, right now, we're going to talk to Kathy Shirley, who is the chairman emeritus of USC, Black Alumni Association. Say hi to my audience.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Now tell us what we can expect from these beautiful women of color out here at USC. I have to say, women of color are hot right now. And I don't know what's been wrong with the rest of the world, but to me, they've always been hot. And even hotter with my girls standing here. So what can we expect from USC this year?
It's always going to be something amazing. We are trying to be creative, always cutting edge.
You're doing a great job.
So just come out and see what we have going on. It's going to be something good.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about David Reverie, just so the audience knows. David Reverie is the story of a young artist. He has epilepsy, and it is a very timely piece. We are looking forward to giving them much support to make it into a feature film, but it is so wonderful. So tell us how you happen to run across that film to present here at USC.
Oh, absolutely. The star, actually, Brandon Fobbs, is a client and friend of mine.
Oh, wow.
So I saw the movie in a film festival and just had to have it down here at USC. Had to match it up with some wonderful singers, you know, our jazz band from our Thornton School of Music, and having Dr. Heck, who's going to be our
Dr. Heck was the bomb.
Yeah.
She really knew her stuff, you guys. So any of you out there suffering from something, or you need a really good doctor that knows her stuff, look up Dr. Heck.
That's right.
All right.
What I like that Dr. Heck said was how to help someone who goes into a seizure. So I am first aid certified.
Oh, wow.
Everything that she said is what they taught us in our classes. So make sure they're safe. Try to cradle them as much as possible. Make sure nothing's around where they can damage themselves. And just wait for those 2 minutes. It might be the longest 2 minutes of your life, but your being there and supporting it
It's going to help, yeah. And so what can we look for? I mean, you guys are so vibrant. Now, I met Kathy some time ago. It was so nice to come out here and see somebody actually knew who I was. And then number two, I want to know what you plan to do collaborating. Are there some collaborative events coming up? I know at USC, but do you take anything, do you do any extended things outside of USC?
No, typically what we're doing, we do things in-house first, but we always have something going on. I'm trying to think outside of the university. On March 28th, we actually have an event coming up on campus, which is going to
And that's what she was saying is Vanessa Bell Calloway, LELA ROCHON. Who else is going to?
Vanessa L. Williams.
Oh my. The real Vanessa L. Williams? Which one, the singer, actress, Vanessa? Well, they're both singers, and well, one is an actress and a singer, one is just an actress. Oh, that's Vanessa. That's Vanessa L. Williams. Yes, Miss America.
Yes, Miss America.
Yeah. And so, how long does it take you to plan these kind of events, and how much kind of red tape do you have to go through to get them passed so they can be presented here?
Everything's done about a year out.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? See, people don't know that. So it takes you a whole year to pull everything together. And then what are some of the final steps that you take before they say, okay, you can present it to the public or to the USC student body?
Final steps, maybe contract signing. I know the day of.
With the artists and everything, making sure they're.
Making sure everybody's in agreement. And the thing that's special about our March 28th event is our scholarship benefit. But we raise money for our black students here at USC. So we have a bunch of donors, so we're giving money to help contribute to our scholarship fund so that students, such as Neil Williamson, can continue to have such a great legacy and make their dreams come true.
Can I pull Dr. Johnson in real quick while my film is rolling? Dr. Turner! Dr. Turner! Can I get you on film real quick? This is Dr. Turner. This is Dr. Turner, who is I was told, is the executive director of the Black Alumni Association of USC. I love saying the Black Alumni Association of the USC campus here. So Dr. Turner, I have spoken to the lovely Tinsy Taylor and the lovely Kathy Shirley, and now you, the lovely Dr. Turner. What can we expect from you as the executive director of USC? What kind of because tonight the film was hot, and I am so happy that Bill Wynn invited me out, and that I didn't, I don't come over here that often, and it was so nice to be able to finally get together and see that they still do have these kind of programs going on for us.
Oh, thank you. I think really just kind of looking back at this month, February, Black History Month.
Right.
I think our association has just done a phenomenal
a phenomenal job. We started the month with a summit on access for Black students in higher education, specifically looking at USC, UCLA. We had the White House, we have a new magazine that we partnered with, and we started the
Oh my gosh, at the White House?
Well, they came here.
Oh, wow. Is that Mr. Barack Obama doing his thing out here? Or?
Well, it's his educational commission.
And not a lot of people know that. And we need to tell people that those are the kind of positive things that he does behind the scenes that you may not hear about in the news.
Well, the very cool thing for us is that we live stream that event. We already have more than 500 people who've seen it.
Oh my gosh.
It is archived on our site. This is a significant piece of policy work that we're doing, this Alumni Association is doing, because we just believe that there's really not any more room for continued conversation about access anymore. We need to fix it. So this is what we're doing. So as we've moved through the month, Monday we hosted an evening with Angela Davis.
Oh my gosh, I have some photos. Oh, she's amazing.
Yes.
Do you know that she's considered one of the most intelligent women in the whole world?
Well, I ended that event because I had the honor of moderating that, and I ended the event in terms of, you know, the treat for me was that she was one of the greatest thinkers of the 21st century.
Absolutely.
And so then we segued here tonight with one of our former students. And on the 28th of March, we have another event where it's not in Black History Month, but you know, we just...
Yeah, she was saying it was ROCHON, Vanessa CALLOWAY, and Vanessa L. Williams will be here. I cannot wait to see that. We must, I promise to spread the word over all of our medias.
The word we want is we want people to come to our website.
That's right. What is your website?
usc.edu/BAA.
usc.edu/BAA, Black Alumni Association.
And when you go to that site, you'll be able to see this upcoming event. You'll be able to purchase your tickets online. If you purchase a ticket with us, 100% of it goes to support scholarship.
Oh, that's amazing.
We also allow you an amazing seat on the floor and a post-event reception where you meet and greet with all of the cast and us. So we party with purpose, and we support amazing students as you just saw tonight.
Well, you are doing a fantastic job. You and your staff, the lovely ladies, they are busy people meeting and greeting, but we have loved to have talked to you, and we'll see you soon. This has been another Entertainment Stones in the Color of Her blog, Cover City News, 15 minutes to show, and we are out. That's, oh, wait a minute, I need my producer. Oh, wait a minute, hold on, I got a special surprise. We're not out yet, I need to say, ask the producer people before we cut out, we want to know what it was like for you being a female producer of color, being a female producer with this kind of subject. Because most of the time, producers, it's movies that are, you know, they were alcoholics, they got a break, you know, and then the next thing you knew, they did drugs. But in this situation, this young man had everything going for him in David's Reverie. Is it Reverie? Reverie. And he had everything going, but he had a condition that prevented him from moving forward with his dream. What do you see the film doing after this?
Well, the film is going on we have festivals lined up in New York and North Carolina.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, and honestly, it's just been a blessing. And I mean, you all have been such a blessing to us, the Black Alumni Association. I mean, this is the reason why we're able to do what we are able to do.
You know, you guys literally traveling around a tour with the film, you're touring the film. What are some of the cities you've gone to already?
Well, we've opened here in LA.
Okay, so this is the opening. This is the first.
Well, actually, we've shown in Pan-African. We've shown in Los Angeles International Short Film Fest. We've shown in Dallas.
All right, Big D. Tell the audience your name so they can look for you.
My name is Channing Godfrey, people.
Channing Godfrey, people. She is a producer, one of our upcoming girls.
Absolutely.
Want to look for you.
Producer of David's Reverie. Creque Williams is the director. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/David's Reverie. We're on Instagram, David's Reverie, and davidsreverie.com. So we appreciate everyone's support so much. This was an amazing event tonight, and it just raises awareness of epilepsy and also takes us through the journey of this.
And you had a really good turnout too for a Thursday night in LA when everybody's like getting ready for the weekend. All right, it's been nice talking to you. It's Osiris again, people. Don't forget, check the film out, Davis Reverie. You know, go and see it. It is inspiring. It's dedication to art. This is Osiris from Culver City News, Entertainment. It's a wrap.